Hey there everybody, this is Christopher Brower here with Daily Motor, and today I wanted to do just a little quick street drive with the 2021 BMW M4. We had this car on track at Gingerman, so we'll have some of those clips in this video as well, but I wanted to do just a little bit of a driving impressions video around on the roads, just to give you a little bit of an idea how this M4 with the 6-speed manual transmission is to drive. This one's a little bit of a crazy spec. Portimao blue with the Yas Marina carbon seats. Not everyone's cup of tea, but I think it's pretty cool. Got this highlighter color too on the side here. These seats are just bonkers looking. But they hugged us in nicely around the track. Somewhere to hold on to when you're the passenger, which is nice. And you've got the topher at the wheel of the car. It's always a good thing. The windows go up kind of slow. There we go, okay. So, the 2021 M4. This one's fitted with a 3-liter straight 6 twin power turbo, 473 horsepower, because of course we have the 6-speed manual. You cannot get the competition with the manual. The competition's got 503 horsepower, so unfortunately you miss out on that extra 30 horsepower, but that's okay. It's not too noticeable of a difference, though I will say I did notice the M3 was quite a bit faster, but that 8-speed ZF transmission was excellent, so, you know, might just have to go with that if I was going to get one anyways. But this manual is a treat. It's nice that they offer this car with a manual still. Make all the enthusiasts happy that they can still shift through their 6-speed manual transmission. And this shifter feels just like any other BMW shifter. In fact, it has like the same shift knob that the cars have had for the past like 20 years, so cool little feature there. This car does get quite a few looks. Probably just the Portimao blue and the massive front grille, which is quite controversial. I think that the Euro cars with the Euro front plate is kind of where it is with that, because it splits the grille in half, and then you have two parts of the grille as opposed to one massive gaping grille. But I think that it looks okay on the M cars. The non-M cars not so much, but at least you have two separate parts with the M car. It does take a bit of getting used to if you're not used to a manual BMW. You can't really bang gears with this shifter. Not saying that I really have any desire to, but it is a little bit difficult to shift it fast and also smooth. You kind of just have to, you know, treat it how it wants to be treated, and it will treat you nicely in return. We are on Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. I'm not going to be pushing those super hard because, as I stated earlier, we were at Gingerman with this car and they are down to just about nothing. And I'm not really interested in crashing today, so we're just going to keep our speed here to a minimum. And we're just going to drive this car how any dentist that owns an M4 would drive his vehicle. So is the car dailyable? I would say yes, it is. It's comfortable. Surprisingly, the carbon fiber seats are like leaps and bounds better than I thought they'd be. I thought they'd be extremely hard and, you know, just no padding at all to them whatsoever. But they are pretty nice. They're heated, they're power, you can adjust your bolster. I'm very impressed with how bonkers they've made them look, but also how livable they've made them from a daily driving perspective. So I think that if I were going to option one of these cars, I would certainly get these crazy carbon seats, though they are about a $4,000 option, and then by the time you make them Yas Marina blue, that's like another $2,000 or something. So these are like $6,000 seats, but you know, I think with a more neutral exterior color, it would be absolutely excellent. If you had this car in white, black, or gray, I think this interior would really pop. one thing too with BMWs with almost 500 horsepower, they don't feel like other cars that have 500 horsepower. Everything is very smooth, it's very linear. You really don't notice that you're hauling as much ass as you're hauling because these things just get up to speed so quickly, so smoothly, and so effortlessly that you simply don't realize that, you know, you hit first, you hit second, you hit third, and you're up to, what, 100 miles an hour. It just does not feel like that. This car does, of course, have auto rev matching, which I like. Ignore all of the purists in the comments that are going to be like, oh, well, I prefer to heel toe cars myself. Well, that is great for you, but this is great for me. Don't have to do the extra step. The car does it nicely as well. Speed limit is achieved just in second gear. It does a great job of settling down though. I don't feel egged on to drive this car fast, which is a good thing. Now, if you do put it in its M2 mode though, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, it makes the exhaust louder, which does tempt you slightly more to drive faster. But I just like to leave it in M1, drive it around like a dentist, and, you know, just have a good time. Take a look at my carbon seats. All is well in my world. If you do want to configure your modes, you just go into setup and you can adjust lots of things. Being that it's a BMW, you can adjust everything in multiple different ways and combinations. Engine, gear shift assistant, which is that auto rev matching, chassis stiffness, steering, and brake feel. As you can see, I've got everything in its comfort setting right now. If we go ahead and put it into the M2 mode, you can see it asked you to start drift analyzer, which means it'll give you a score on your drifting. It's like we're playing Forza in real life. This just has my chassis and engine into sport. These are both customizable modes. I have the M2 as the slightly more aggressive setting. DSC is off as well. With those bald tires though, I don't really care too much to be in M2 mode. Maybe if I was on a fresh set of Pilot Sport 4S's, I would be more inclined to do so. You can also set your M traction control. Right now it's on, but if you had it into M2 mode, we've got it set. You can go from 1 to 10, or from 0 to 10, excuse me. 0 being completely off, 10 being all the way on. Our M2 mode has it set at 1, so it lets you do just about whatever you would like. One tap gets that off. You can also hit M mode, changes your cluster display. This just gives you a little bit of a different readout for your rev counter. I definitely like the other gauges better. All of this is configurable as well, but you know, what isn't configurable on this car? We'll go ahead and select M2 here for our little takeoff. You can hear how it changes the exhaust note. You can hear that exhaust is slightly louder. Not too sure how that's configured. Yeah, a little bit more engine note there. Snappier throttle response. That's nice. I haven't even asked the wipers to do that, but they've just come on by themselves. Love a good rain sensing wiper. This car is also fitted with carbon ceramic brakes, which are completely destroyed from the track day. The carbon ceramic brakes feel very good, but I wouldn't say that they're worth the $8,000 upcharge that BMW charges you if you want them. And talking of track driving, let's send it over to Charlie so you guys can see what this M4 is like on the track.
What'd you think of the seats in this?
I like them. I wasn't sliding too bad.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe it's your jeans.
It's jeans, or like I feel like I want to have my butt back further, but then my back's. The Corvette was like perfect.
Yeah, the Corvette's awesome.
Does sound great. Once you get above, you just don't get that peak of power the way the M3 like just pulled like a freight train. This isn't doing that. separate myself.
Exactly, yeah, I just got out of the Corvette.
Right. Track day is cool because even though there's a good amount of people here, most people aren't on track for most of the time.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
letting their cars cool off.
Right.
But these aren't our cars. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, just stepping out quite a bit there.
Yeah. I think I agree with him that comfort braking does allow you a little more modulation. I was having that same thing as him of like just a very immediate brake feel beforehand. Making noise even on the street for me. That transition right there is so fun to get right. Yeah. And then you kind of just let your car float right to the edge. I'm getting similar speeds on right there that I was in the Corvette in this car.
This honestly feels very similar to the Corvette speed-wise. Similar speeds on the backstretch too. I think the difference is the Corvette can do these speeds and it's like easy. Yeah. This, you gotta work for these speeds and you gotta be dialed in the entire time you're doing it. So I think in the hands of a professional driver, the Corvette can have an extra few seconds on. Yeah. Because the Corvette is more confident on power, a little less confident off power. This is the opposite. Chris is coming out on Corvette right now.
This is like neutral when you're off power. You can, like right now, I'm just...
The Corvette would be lift-off oversteering.
Right. Yeah. But it's, you gotta really dance with when you get back on it. Also, I think downforce comes into play a bit because, like, right here in the Corvette, I can just kind of feel it settling in a little bit. This just feels a little more like we're dealing with all tire, no downforce.
Yeah. They have the same tires too, don't they?
Yep, which is kind of cool. Say this does require you to be a better driver. It, you know, it actually demands finesse in kind of a satisfying way. All right, let's see if we can do these a little better. I'm going to turn this one in early. Straight in. focus was not getting over or pointing me by. It's kind of frustrating. I meant to have mention that to him.
See if they let you buy now.
What's that?
So we'll have to see if they let you buy this time.
Right. I mean, you got, last time it was like, it was a C8 Corvette breathing down your neck on the straightaway. Just get by and point them. I will always point people by like the moment they get behind me. I'm just like, I don't give a fuck. Even in lemons, I'm like, unless we're like racing, like I know I'm a similar speed to him, I'll just be like, there's no point in me trying to hold him up. Just go ahead, then we can both get on with our day. Evident he was getting over, but like,
yeah, but no hand out the window.
Right. That corner is pretty fun just because there's just a little bit of on camber that you could kind of like sink yourself through it. I also don't tend to brake very hard when I'm out on track days or even racing, and part of that might be because most of the racing I've done is endurance racing.
Yeah,
so like you got to keep the car alive for 8 hours.
Yeah.
But there's just not much appeal to me in like getting that extra second a lap just to like have to go be in ABS like every single, corner.
No.
I'd rather just try to carry as much speed in through as possible.
Yeah.
How much of this engine noise do you think is piped in? You think any of it is?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because there's so much like induction noise.
Yeah.
I bet a fair amount of it's piped in. Maybe 40%. And as for the price as spec'd on this car, it is $94,000. That's with about, $20,000 in options. So, you gotta think, is it worth it? Would you spec your M4 like this? Or would you get more of a bare bones car? This is even fitted with the manual transmission. Imagine if it had the 8-speed, it'd be even more expensive. All right, everyone. Oh, hold on. Right, that is going to conclude our drive of the 2021 BMW M4 6-speed manual transmission with Yas Marina Blue carbon seats. I think I got that all. Anyways, thank you for watching. Do a little walk around here before we sign off. What do you think? Would you get the 6-speed manual, or would you get the ZF 8-speed automatic? I think my final decision is the manual. I think if I was going to get an M car, I might as well get a manual while I still can. Who knows how much longer this is even going to exist. So, get them while they're hot, right? Take one more look at the big buck teeth on this thing. I think it's growing on me. Plus, the rest of the car doesn't look as bonkers as the front end. I don't know. Just my 2 cents. Comment down below what you think of this thing. You like the F80 better? Or F82, sorry. Alright, well, as always, thank you so much for watching. This has been Christopher Brower with Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.